All right, moving on to other news. 670 days. That's how long Israel has waged a relentless campaign of siege, starvation, and slaughter in Gaza. Countries around the world, and now even Israelis, have accused the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of trying to erase Gaza. But he remains brazen, even going as far as to justify it and discrediting reports and images of starvation in Gaza as lies. On Monday, Palestinians in Gaza City held funerals for loved ones killed in an Israeli strike that targeted Zetuan neighborhood southeast of Gaza City. Palestinians reported the heaviest bombardments in weeks in areas east of Gaza City. And that's just hours after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he expected to complete a new expanded offensive in the enclave fairly quickly. Witnesses also said that Israeli tanks and planes pounded Sabra, Zetuan and Shejaya, three eastern suburbs of Gaza City, pushing many families out of their homes westwards. Gazans also gathered to bury 6 journalists killed in an Israeli strike, 5 from the Qatari broadcaster Al Jazeera. Among them was 28-year-old Anas al-Sharif, who was one of Gaza's most recognizable reporters. Also killed were Mohammed Krekhe, Ibrahim Zahir, Mohammed Nofal, Momin Aliva, and freelance journalist Mohammed Al-Khaldi. Israel accused Sharif of being a terrorist linked to Hamas, publishing a graphic branding him eliminated. Al Jazeera says its team was hit while working in a press tent outside Gaza's city's Al-Shifa hospital. Mourners, some in blue press flag jackets, carried the bodies through narrow lanes to their graves. The United Nations called the killings a grave breach of international humanitarian law. And Qatar's Prime Minister called them crimes beyond imagination. Not just that, from around the world too, condemnation poured in. Italy's defense minister accused the Israeli government of having lost its reason and humanity and signaled openness to sanctions. And all this comes as Netanyahu pushes to seize Gaza. Netanyahu said on Sunday that he is determined to press ahead with the new plan to take over Gaza City and said that the Israeli army have taken control of about 70 to 75% of Gaza. Netanyahu's plan has also triggered demonstrations in Israel. Thousands took to the streets in Tel Aviv to call for an end to the war in Gaza. Demonstrators wave signs and hold up pictures of hostages still being held in the Palestinian territory, as they call on the government to secure their release. Allies have also condemned it. Germany has decided to suspend some weapons shipments to Israel. And Australia has joined a number of nations in saying that it will recognize a Palestinian state. But Netanyahu remains defiant. He has said, "We will win the war with or without the support of others." And what about the United States of America? It says that military plans are pretty much up to Israel in what looks like a brazen endorsement of the Israeli plans to take control of Gaza. The United Nations continues to warn that Netanyahu's expansion plan could trigger another calamity. Gaza is already on the brink of famine, with aid severely disrupted and restricted. According to Gaza Health Ministry, at least 61,430 Palestinians have been killed since the war began. Almost 2 years later, life for Palestinians, it has now been essentially reduced to survival. And this weekend, 5 more died from malnutrition. The total now stands at 217, and this includes at least 100 children. The Save the Children organization has called it a devastating milestone that shames the world, yet strikes on Gaza continue. In northern Gaza, families are trekking over 10 kilometers to the Zikkim crossing just for one bag of wheat. Since late May, 1,373 people have been killed trying to get food, most, the UN says, by the Israeli forces. But ask the residents of Gaza, and they say it's rather a grim choice. You either risk your lives, bullets, or you starve literally to death. Global condemnation continues to grow at this point of time, and today French President Emmanuel Macron warned that Israel's plan for Gaza City is a disaster. It's a path to permanent war. In the statement, Macron said it was important to establish a UN-mandated stabilization mission to secure the Gaza Strip. He said, and I quote him here, "The Security Council must now work to establish this mission and give it a mandate. I've asked my teams to work on this without delay with our partners," unquote. Now, 3/4 of UN members recognize or plan to recognize a Palestinian state. As I mentioned earlier, Australia will make it official at the UN General Assembly in September. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese calls it a part of a coordinated global effort for a two-state solution, which he has described as humanity's best hope at this point of time. To end the cycle of violence, that is. Now, the Palestinian Authority has also promised to recognize Israel's right to exist, hold elections, and demilitarize. The question is, will things change coming September? We can certainly hope so. But for now, the shameful reality is that 670 days since the war started, tens of thousands of lives have been lost. Hundreds of children have been starved. And those who are left are fighting for survival. The question the world is now asking, how much longer?